Good day, everyone. I'm Julina Picalonsag, the first reporter of the topic Gender, Culture, and Deviance, and I will discuss the gender and development. But before we start, let's have an activity. So, this activity is called Guess the Role. So, I will show you 3 to 5 short sentences of jobs or tasks, but without saying who is doing them. So, whether the person is a man, woman, or any gender. Okay, let's start. This person is a firefighter who saved 3 people from a burning building. Okay, the second one. This person designs beautiful dresses for a fashion brand. And the last one is this person stays at home to take care of the kids while their partners works. Okay, so each of it revealed that anyone, regardless of gender, can do these roles, emphasizing that skills and abilities are shows how we sometimes have hidden biases about gender roles. So today, in my report, we'll explore gender and development and why equality matters in our society. Background of the topic. Gender culture refers to the beliefs, behaviors, and roles that society expects from men and women. Over time, gender rules have changed, leading to gender and development, or GAD, which promotes equality between men and women in education, work, and daily life. In the Philippines, the LGBTQ culture is becoming more accepted, but members of the community still face discrimination. Issues like HIV/AIDS and drug addiction are also linked to deviance, as they are sometimes viewed negatively by society. Deviance happens when a person does not follow social norms, which can be either positive or negative. Theories of deviance explain why people break rules. Some say it's because of their environment, while others believe it's a personal choice. Understanding gender culture and deviance helps society become more accepting and fair to all. And before we start, let's read the objectives. So these are the objectives that we need to achieve at the end of the lesson. So um, For the first objectives, deduce the theories and agencies of socialization and personality development. B. Discuss the LGBTQ plus culture in the Philippines. C. Identify the types and theories of deviance. D. Relate and explain the determinants and causes of collective behavior. E. Create personal advocacy on contemporary issues with regard to gender culture and deviance. What is gender and development? Philippine Commission on Women defined gender and development as the development perspective and process that is participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, supportive of self-determination and actualization of human potential. So this means that the gender and development, making sure that both both women and men have equal chances to grow, learn, and live better lives. So the gender and development, it focuses on including everyone, treating people fairly, protecting their rights, helping them reach their full potential, and creating a safe and peaceful environment for all. How is gender and development started? Gender and development was developed in the 1980s and as an alternative to the women in development or WID approach. Unlike WID, the GAD approach is not concerned specifically with women, um, but the way in which a society assigns roles, responsibilities, and expectations to both men and women. God applies gender analysis to uncover the ways in which men and women work together, presenting results in neutral terms of economic and competence. So, ang gender and development or GAD started in the 1980s. So, to improve the way we look at the roles of both men and women in society. So, before that, the focus was mostly in helping women only called women in development or the WID. But yung GAD looks at how both men and women are treated, so what jobs they are expected to do and how they can work together fairly. So it helps us understand how to make things equal for everyone, not just one gender. So yung with or the women in development, it was a way of thinking that started in the 1970s. It's yung main goal niya is was to include women in development projects because back then women were often left out, 'di ba? So yung with focuses on helping women to get more access to education, jobs, and resources. But it didn't really question the roles of men and women in society. It just tried to add women to existing programs. So later, the GAD or the Gender and Development was created to go deeper by looking at how both men and women are treated and how their roles can be made more equal. God focused primarily on two major frameworks. So the first is the gender roles. So gender roles focus on social construction of identities within the household. It also reveals the expectations from maleness and femaleness and their relative access to resources. So gender roles this means the jobs and the responsibilities that society expects from men and women, especially in the home. So it also shows how these roles affect who gets more chances or access to things like money, education, and work. So the second is the social relations analysis. So this exposes the social dimensions of hierarchy hierarchical power relations embedded in social institutions. So, also, its determining influence on the relative position of men and women in society in attempt to create gender equality or denoting women having same opportunities as men, including ability to participate in the public. So, social relation analysis, it means that it is all about looking at how people relate to each other in society, especially how power, responsibilities, and opportunities are shared between men and women. So it helps us understand why there are differences in how men and women are treated. So this analysis focuses on social institutions like sa families, schools, workplaces, churches, governments. So in these places, rules, both spoken and unspoken, often decided who has more power, who makes decisions, and who gets more opportunities. So, most of the time, so, 'di ba, yung mga lalaki talaga ang binibigyan ng more leadership roles, and women are expected to follow or take care of the home. So that's why ang God or the gender and development uses these two ideas to break the unfair system and help create a society where both men and women can make choices, lead, and succeed equally, whether at home or in public. Gender and development in Philippines. So, Philippine Plan for Gender and Development, or the PPGD 1995 to 2025, is a national plan that addresses, provides, and pursues full equality and development for men and women, approved and adopted by former President Fidel V. Ramos as Executive Number 273 on September 8, 1995. It is the successor of the Philippine Development Plan for Women from 1989 to 1992, adopted by Executive Number 348 of February 17, 1989. The PPGD, or the Philippine Plan for Gender and Development, is a national plan created by the Philippine government to make sure that both women and men have equal rights and opportunities. So, ang goal ni PPGD is to help everyone grow and succeed equally in all areas of life. So, the plan was officially approved on September 8, 1995 by President Fidel V. Ramos through Executive Order Number 273. So, this was a big step forward because it replaced an earlier plan called the Philippine Development Plan for Women, year 1989 to 1992, which was focused mainly on helping women but did not yet fully address the equality of both genders. So, ang PPGD, ito yung the updated version and focuses on gender equality and development for everyone. So, not just sa mga babae. So, this means that the plan aims to ensure that both men and women can access the same education, job opportunities, and resources. And also, they can have equal participation in decisions at home, in the community, and in the government, and live in a society where no one is discriminated against because of their gender. So, the PPGD plan helps guide the government and different organizations in making sure men and women are treated fairly in all areas of life, like health, education, employment, and leadership roles. It's a long term that looks ahead to 2025, aiming to make lasting changes for equality in the Philippines. Now let's proceed to DENR Administrative Order number 98 to 15, dated May 27, 1998, came up as the revised guidelines on the implementation of gender and development, or GAD, activities in the Department of Environment and Natural Resources in order to strengthen the DENR GAD focal point system and accomplishing the GAD vision, partnership of empowered men and women for sustainable development. The DENR Administrative Order number 98 to 15 was created on May 27, 1998 to update and improve the way The Department of Environment and Natural Resources in the Philippines includes gender and development activities in its work. So the goal of this order is to ensure that men and women work together as partners with equal rights and opportunities to achieve sustainable development. This means creating a better future that protects the environment and benefits everyone for many years. So, the revised guidelines for GAD, um, um, this order um, does simple does in simple terms. So the first one is the revised guidelines for God. So the order provides clear rules on how to include gender equality in the DENR's projects and activities. So these guidelines make sure that both men and women are equally involved in decision making and that their needs or concerns are addressed. And the next one is strengthening the GAD focal point system. So the order also strengthens the GAD focal point system in DENR because this is a special group of people in the department who are in charge of making sure that gender equality is a part of the work that DENR does. So they help to make sure that both men and women have equal chances to benefit from DENR's program. And the last one is the vision for gender and equality. So the main idea or vision of this order is to create a partnership of empowered men and women. So this means that both men and women should be empowered or given the strength to and ability to make decisions and take part in development activities. So this partnership aims to achieve sustainable development, meaning both the environment and people's lives improves in a way that lasts. In short, this order is about making sure that gender equality is at the heart of the DENR's work, helping men and women work together to protect the environment and build a better future for all. Now let's proceed to the Republic Act number 9710 or also known as the Magna Carta of Women 2009. So it was approved on August 14, 2009, which mandates non-discriminatory and pro-gender equality and equity measures to enable women's participation in the formulation, implementation, and evaluation of policies and plan for national, regional, and local development. What is Magna Carta of Women? So the Magna Carta of Women, it is a law passed on August 14, 2009 to protect the rights of all Filipino women and to make sure women are treated fairly and equally in all parts of society. So what does it do? So this law requires the government and other institutions to stop discrimination against women. So women should not be treated unfairly. So just because of their gender. Support gender equality and equity. So women and men should have the same rights, chances, and access to opportunities. And women also should be included in important decisions. So, yung mga babae should be or mga kababainhan should be allowed and encouraged to help plan create and evaluate programs and laws in national, regional, and local government levels. So, um, this law supports women in areas like health, education, work, safety and protection, leadership, and political participation. Why is it important? So, it is important because in the past, 'di ba, women often left out of decision making. Yung sahod nila is maliit lang or not even given the same chances as men. So that's why this law helps fix that by giving women a stronger voice and more equal treatment in government, schools, workplaces, and communities. So, in simple terms, the Magna Carta of Women is a law that makes sure that women are respected, protected, and included in building a better and fairer society. It helps women have equal rights and chances to succeed just like men. The last one is the Memorandum Circular Number 2011-01, dated October 21, 2011, was released addressing to all government departments, including their attached agencies, offices, bureaus, state universalities, and colleges or SUCs, government-owned and controlled corporations or GOCCs, and all the government instrumentalities as their guidelines and procedures for the establishment, strengthening, and institutionalization of GAD Focal Point System or the GFPs. Memorandum Circular Number 2011-01 was a document released on October 21, 2011 by the Philippine government. So, it was sent to all government departments including na yung offices, agencies, and even state universities and colleges. So, the goal of this document was to guide and help them create and improve something called the GAD Focal Point System or the GFPs. So, yung GFPs or GFPs refers to a group or team within each government office or department that is specifically responsible for working on gender equality issues. So, this memorandum give instructions on how government offices should set up their own GAD teams. So, on how to strengthen these teams to make sure that gender equality is considered in every part of their work. So, how to make the GFPs a permanent part of their office. So, they always focus on gender and issues and make sure both men and women have equal chances in everything. So, this document made sure that every government office knew how to support work on gender equality in their policies and projects. So it was a step to ensure that all government services were inclusive and fair to both men and women. Society before the gender and development. So, gender stereotypes are generalizations about the rules of each gender. Gender rules are generally neither positive or negative. They are simply inaccurate generalizations of male and female attributes, since each person has individual desires, thoughts, and feelings regardless of their gender. These stereotypes are incredibly simplistic and do not at all describe the attributes of every person of each gender. Before the gender and development approach, society had a lot of gender stereotypes. So these are the basically ideas or beliefs about how men and women should behave, what they should do, and what they're good at. So for example, the stereotype might say that men are strong and logical, while women are emotional and caring. So, gender rules are the expectations that society has about what men and women should do in their families, jobs, and communities. So, these rules were often not based on what people are really like, but on generalization, simple ideas that everyone in that gender should act a certain way. So however, these stereotypes are rules are not always true. They don't apply to every person because 'di ba, each person is unique and has their own likes, abilities, and feelings. So just because someone is male or female, it doesn't mean that they will always act or think the same way as others of their gender. For example, not all men like to work with tools or be the breadwinner, and not all women want to stay at home and take care of children. So these old stereotypes were too simplistic and didn't recognize that people, no matter their gender, can have very different skills, ideas, and interests. So that's why the gender and development was created to challenge these stereotypes and promote a more equal and fair society where both men and women can do what they want regardless of outdated ideas about gender. Here are some examples to simplify on how society works before gender and development was formed. So, before the gender and development, the society had strict ideas about women were supposed to do and be like. So, these ideas were based on old stereotypes and did not give women much freedom to choose their roles. So, here are the some examples of what women should expected to do. So, the first one is supposed to have clean jobs such as secretaries, teachers, and librarians. So yung mga babae or women were often seen as suited for jobs that were considered gentle, caring, or nurturing. So like being secretaries, teachers, or librarians. So these were jobs that were seen as kanang more feminine and didn't require leadership or high decision making skills. So the second one is are supposed to make less money than men. So 'di ba, it was a common to believe that women should be paid less than men for doing the same work. So this was because women were not seen as not needing as much money or not being as important in the workforce. The next one are supposed to cook and do housework. So we as women were expected to cook and do housework, right? So the society believed that women's main role was to take care of the home. This meant cooking, doing household chores, and taking care of the children. So they This left them with little time or opportunity to do things outside the home like pursuing a career or other interests, since they are expected to stay at home. So the next one are responsible for raising children. So women were responsible for raising children, 'di ba? So yung mga babae were expected to be the primary caregivers for children. So this meant that they were responsible for parenting, feeding, and taking care of the kids, while men were often seen as the ones who work outside the home. Sila yung naghahanap buhay para makaprovide ng mga needs sa kanyang family. The next one is women are never in charge, 'di ba? Society often thought that women shouldn't be leaders. So it was rare to see women in positions of power such as managers, politicians, or CEOs, because leadership roles mas nakaano sa mga lalaki, to mas appropriate siya sa mga lalaki. And the last one is the submissive. So women were seen as submissive. Why? Because they are expected, or we as women are expected to be obedient and follow men's decisions, especially in relationships. 'Di ba? Yung husband or partner natin, sila yung nagdedesisyon. So we were seen as less independent and more submissive or dependent on men. These beliefs created limits for women, and they had fewer choices in their lives, especially when it came sa trabaho, leadership, and family rules. So the introduction of gender and development aimed to challenge these ideas and promote a society where both men and women can choose their roles based on their skills, desires, and abilities, instead of being limited by gender stereotypes. So let's proceed to men. So men were expected to it is always men who work in science, engineering, and other technical fields. So society used to believe that only men could work in science, engineering, or other technical jobs. So it was assumed that men were naturally better at more these types of work because they were seen as more logical, masculine, or capable in this area. So this stereotype limited opportunities for women, kasi meron din na mga babae na that they have the skills and interest to work in these fields, but limitado lang yung trabaho kasi para daw sa mga lalaki yon, or sa men lang bumabagay. And next is the men in charge. They are always at the top. So sa pamilya talaga, or even in the organization, it was expected that men should always be in charge. Men were often seen as leaders, and they were given the top positions in businesses or the government. So while women were not given the same chances to lead or make important decisions. So this idea or made it harder for women to have the same power or authority as men. The next one is men do dirty jobs such as construction and mechanics. So men were expected to do physical and dirty jobs like working in construction or being a mechanic. So the society thought these jobs were best suited for men because they were seen as tough or strong. So this stereotype ignored that women can also be skilled at these jobs, and it also made women feel like they couldn't pursue these careers if they wanted to. The next one is, as husbands, men tell their wives what to do. So, in the past, many people believe that men should make decisions in the household until their wives what to do. So it was expected that husbands were the head of the family and wives should follow their instructions. So this created a power imbalance in the home where women had less freedom to make their own choice says or own choices or be equal partners in decision making. The next one is men are lazy or messy. So yes, this is true. So this is the another stereotype was that men were often seen as lazy or messy. So it was believed that men didn't care about cleanliness or organizing things, especially in the home, diba? So this stereotype wasn't fair to men or women as it didn't account for the fact that some men enjoy being clean and organized and some women may not enjoy doing housework. It also ignored the idea that chores and responsibilities should be shared fairly. And the last one is the dominant. So, society often viewed men as being dominant or more powerful than women. So, this meant men were expected to control situations, relationships, and even communities. So, women, on the other hand, were often seen as submissive or in need of protection. So, this reinforced an unbalanced power dynamic between the genders. So, these were the gender stereotypes and roles that were common for God came along. So, gender and development challenged these ideas by encouraging a more equal approach where both men and women could choose their paths based on their individual abilities, not just their gender. And now, let's move on to the Biodiversity Management Bureau or the BMB. So, formerly the Parks and Wildlife Bureau or PAWB is responsible for managing protected areas, conserving wildlife, and promoting ecotourism. It also oversees coastal biodiversity, wetlands, caves, and national parks like Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife and Hinulugang Taktak National Park. Additionally, BMB engages in biodiversity-related international agreements and ensures their national implementation. So, the Biodiversity Management Bureau or the BMB is a government agency in the Philippines that works to protect and care for the country's natural environment, especially its plants, animals, and ecosystems. So, the BMB used to be called the Parks and Wildlife Bureau or the PAWB, but its name changed to better reflect its role in biodiversity management. So, ano ba yung ginagawa ng BMB? So, BMB, it manage protected. Sila yung nagmamanage kung paano protektahan ang areas. So, BMB is in charge of areas that are especially protected because they have important wildlife or natural features. So, these include places like national parks or nature reserves. So, their job is to make sure these areas are well taken care of so animals and plants can thrive without harm. The next one is conserving wildlife. So, one of the main tasks of the BMB is to protect wildlife, both animals and plants, especially sa mga species that are endangered or at risk of disappearing. So they work on programs to help these species survive and grow in the wild. The next one is promoting ecotourism. So BMB helps develop ecotourism, which is tourism that focuses on visiting natural areas while preserving the environment. So they encourage people to visit national parks and protected areas in a way that doesn't harm nature. The next one is the overseeing coastal biodiversity, wetlands, and caves. So BMB also looks after health of coastal areas like beaches and coral reefs, wetlands areas like swamps or marshes and caves. So these are the places are important for biodiversity because they provide homes for many species of plants and animals. The next one is the managing national parks. So the BMB is responsible for famous parks such as the Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife Hinulugang Taktak National Park, making sure these areas are protected and accessible to the public. So and the last one is the international agreements on biodiversity. So ang BMB it involves in international agreements related to protecting the biodiversity. So they make sure that the Philippines follows these agreements para matulungan yung wildlife, not just within the country but globally as well. So in short, the BMB works to protect the environment and ensure that wildlife and natural areas are cared for both locally and internationally. The BMB is continuing its efforts in reconstituting and in strengthening its gender and development focal point system, or the GFPE. So this will form part to pursue equality of women and men and the right to enjoy equal benefits from its programs and policies. So here the BMB is working to make its gender and development focal point system stronger and more effective. So this system is a special team or group within the BMB that focuses on ensuring gender equality, making sure that both men and women have equal opportunities and benefits in the work and programs run by the BMB. So here's what they are trying to do. So the first one is to reconstituting the GFPs. So this means that the BMB is building or reorganizing the GFPs to make it better and more effective as its jobs of promoting gender equality. So they want to make sure that the team has the right people and tools to make sure to make a real difference. So the next one is it in strengthening the GFPs. So this means improving the capacity and work of the GFPs so that it can do its job more efficiently. So ang goal niya dito is to ensure that gender equality is always considered in all the BMB's actions, projects, and policies. Next is the promoting equality for women and men. So the BMB is focused on making sure that both women and men are treated fairly and equally in everything the BMB does. So this includes making sure that both genders have the same access to benefits from their programs and policies. So whether it's environmental protection, education, or other areas. The last one is ensuring equal benefits. So this means that the BMB wants to make sure uh, that everyone, regardless of whether they are male or female, can enjoy the same opportunities and benefits from the programs and services provided by the BMB. For example, women and men should both have the same chances to work, receive training, or participate in environmental projects. So, in short, the BMB is improving its efforts to make sure that both women and men have equal opportunities and fair treatment in equal everything the Bureau does. And the GFP is key to making this happen. Now, let's proceed to the next slide. The Biodiversity Management Bureau or BNB, in partnership with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, National GAD Secretariat, DENR, NGFPs, and the Philippine Commission on Women or the PCW has successfully implemented various gender and development programs over the years. So, the BMB has worked together with the important government organizations to help promote gender equality in its programs and projects. So these organizations include the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, National GAD Secretariat, or the DENR in GFPS. So this group helps to make sure that gender equality is included in the environmental and natural resources management programs of the government. Next is the Philippine Commission on Women or the PCW. So this is the government body dedicated to promoting and ensuring the rights of welfare of women. It helps guide organizations like BMB in creating policies that support both women and men equally. Together, the BMB, DENR, NGFPs, and PCW have successfully worked on different gender and development programs over the years. So, these programs focused on making sure that both men and women have equal rights and equal opportunities when it comes to work. BMB does in protecting and managing the country's biodiversity. So, here are some of these GAD programs might include helping women get involved in environmental protection and wildlife conservation, ensuring that both men and women have access to training, resources, and leadership opportunities in biodiversity management, and also making sure that policies and projects developed by BMB are inclusive and fair for everyone regardless of gender. So in short, just like what I have said earlier, the BMB along with its partners has been working to make sure that gender equality is the key part of all their efforts to protect and manage the environment. So both men and women can equally participate and benefit from these programs. The next is the BMB GAD focal point system was strengthened and fully operationalized through PEWB Special Order Number 2009 to 26, February 5, 2009, which reconstituted the PEWB Gender and Development Committee. This was later enhanced by PEWB Special Order Number 2011 to 29. So, through this issuance, the BMB is true to its mandate of providing natural resiliency and sustained benefits the country's biodiversity. So, the BMB GAD focal point system was made stronger and fully operational, so it could do its job better in promoting gender equality within the Biodiversity Management Bureau, or the BMB. So this was done through the two special orders issued by the Parks and Wildlife Bureau, or the PEWB, which later became part of BMB. So PEWB Special Order Number 2009 to 26, February 5, 2009. So this order reorganized and improved the PEWB Gender and Development Committee. So the goal was to make sure that gender issues were being properly addressed in all the work done by the Bureau. The committee was set up to focus on gender equality in the programs and projects related to protecting and managing biodiversity. So it made sure that both men and women had equal opportunities to be involved and benefit from Bureau's work. So PEWB Special Order Number 2011-29, this order built upon the previous one, enhancing and strengthening the work of the GAD Committee, or the Gender and Development Committee. So it made the system even more effective and ensured that gender issues were fully integrated into all the work of the BMB. So by creating and strengthening the GAD focal point system, the BMB made sure that its environmental efforts and biodiversity management were inclusive and fair for everyone. So, this approach supports natural resilience, or the ability of nature to recover and stay strong, and helps provide sustained benefits to both men and women, and ensuring that all people can contribute to and benefit from the country's efforts to protect its natural resources. So, uh, these orders help make gender equality a key part of BMB's work, so that both men and women could equally contribute to protecting the environment and managing biodiversity. The Biodiversity Management Bureau is continuously empowering its efforts to make its governance gender responsive through promoting gender responsive management and transformative leadership, as well as conduction of various gender-related programs, activities, and trainings. So, yung BNB talaga, ang dami niyang rules. Dami siyang ginagawa. The BMB is always working to improve how it includes and promotes gender equality in its activities and leadership. So here's how they doing this. The first one is the responsive management. So this means that the BMB is making sure that its management and decision-making processes are fair and equal for both men and women. They are creating policies and programs that consider the needs and opportunities for all genders equally. So, both men and women have the same chances to participate and benefit from their work. The next is the transformative leadership. So, ang BNB is also focused on transformative leadership. So, which means they want their leaders to go beyond just managing or running things. So they want leaders who will create real change by making sure that gender equality is a priority in the Bureau's action. So this kind of leadership is about challenging traditional gender rules and encouraging everyone, regardless of gender, to lead and make decisions. The next one is the gender related programs, activities, and training. So, the BMB also organizes and conducts various programs such as activities, training sessions that are specifically focused on gender issues. So, these activities help educate people about the importance of gender equality and provide tools and acknowledge on how to be more inclusive in their work and everyday life. So, um, the BMB is taking active steps to make sure that gender equality is part of everything they do. They are training leaders, improving their management, and creating programs that promote equal rights for both men and women, ensuring that everyone has equal chance to contribute and succeed. And that's would be all. Thank you.